In this video, I will discuss the slides in this presentation entitled Audience, Style, Purpose, and Tone. Audience refers to your readers, and it's imperative that you know your audience and you write for that specific audience. Please keep in mind that there are many different types of audiences, and when you're creating a piece of writing, you need to know how to best meet the expectations of that audience. How can you best connect with that audience? In this presentation, we're going to focus on an academic audience. So we're going to talk about what's involved with that audience. And the first piece is style. There are many different types of styles in writing, and you want to choose a style that's appropriate for your specific audience. Style refers to the way writing is dressed up or down to fit the specific context, purpose, or audience. So word choice involves sentence fluency and the writer's voice, and these all contribute to the style of a piece of writing. For our course, and for most other college courses, we use an academic style. So you don't want to write like you're speaking with family and friends, which is most likely a conversational style. An academic style involves a serious, knowledgeable, or professional audience. So your audience will be your classmates and your professors. You should use the third person pronouns such as he, she, it, or they, which presents an impersonal point of view, as opposed to using the first person, I, me, my, which is a subjective point of view. And you want to use a professional vocabulary, which means you also want to avoid contractions. This involves words such as do, don't, do not would be the preferable way to express that. Can't, cannot, so you write those out. And you want to avoid writing or using colloquial expressions. Those are expressions that one only hears in a specific geographic region. So take a few minutes and think about any places you've been where you've heard words or terms and you've never heard those anywhere else. Those are colloquial expressions. We want to avoid using those in our writing because we are reaching out to a general audience and we don't want to exclude anyone who might not be familiar with a particular colloquial expression from a geographic region that person may not be familiar with. We want to write out numbers under 100, use conventional grammar and punctuation, and formal documentation. For our course, that is MLA format. Here are some examples of academic, formal, casual, informal, and slang. And we also, when we are talking about style in general, we should always avoid, regardless of the audience, expressions that stereotype genders. Here are some examples. So we have outdated terms and alternatives to those outdated terms. And we want to write in an inclusive and culturally sensitive way. Here's some examples again of outdated terms and alternatives to those outdated terms. And we always want to avoid expressions that stereotype races, ethnic groups, or religious groups. When we refer to purpose in writing, we are referring to the reason an author writes a particular text. There are common purposes for writing texts that include to inform. For example, if you want to just provide information about a topic, like an expository essay, that's informative. To persuade is an argument where you take your opinion about a topic and try to convince your readers that your opinion is believable. And then to entertain, analyze, and propose. Tone refers to the author's feelings or attitude about a subject. So all the emotions that we have as people can come through in our writing, through the tone, through the specific words that we use to express our ideas in a piece of writing. We want tone in academic writing to be objective, so we don't want to show feelings for or against a topic. Instead, we want to rely on factual information as much as possible and stay neutral. Whereas in fiction and in personal writing, tone is often the opposite. It's subjective, it's opinionated, personal examples are used, opinions are shared, and the information is often biased and informal. So that is what we want to avoid with an academic tone. Again, we want to use an objective tone. We want to use impartial language. We don't want to be judgmental or emotive, so we want to exclude our emotions. With an objective tone, we want to be as clear and accurate in our presentation of facts, events, and ideas as possible, rather than providing our personal opinions or judgments about them. We want to present an argument based around evidence. We're relying on facts and supported ideas. This would include something like a direct quote, and not personal views, feelings, intuition, and emotions. We want to avoid exaggeration and bias. And again, as I mentioned previously, avoid using the first person pronouns I, me, my, mine. Although there are exceptions to this, where it's okay to use a first person pronoun in an objective tone. And if we come to that in class, or if that's something that comes up in one of your essays, I will let you know more about that. Also, an objective tone shows respect for the views of others and allows room for others to disagree with your viewpoint. So you want to avoid making 100% statements. Those are statements that involve using words like all, never, always, because it's rarely the case that we can say something is always one way or never one way or everybody believes one way. And then this takes us to connotation and denotation. Denotation refers to the literal dictionary definition of a word. So there's nothing else associated with the meaning of the word. Whereas connotation goes beyond the literal dictionary definition of the word to suggest positive or negative emotions. Let's look at some examples. So in each set of these examples, one word has a negative connotation while the other is more positive. For example, independence suggests strength and is seen as a positive attribute, while loneliness is considered negative. Here are some more examples. And the point of connotation and denotation is that you want to choose your words carefully. In academic writing, the tone should be as neutral as possible, and you can achieve that by thinking carefully about the connotation of the words you're using to express your point or your ideas in your writing. That concludes this presentation. Thank you.